Well, hi, guys. I've got my fabulous foursome here today from the board of directors that you get to know a little bit better. Let me introduce them to you by having them introduce themselves. Mr. Backer, who are you?
Hi there, I'm Chris Backer. I'm the past president of the Marin REALTORS, and I'm also a current board member.
All right. And Bob Donlin?
I'm Bob Donlin, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, current board of directors member in my third year, my term.
Yeah. Well, we got to keep him going because I think after the third year, you're out. So we'll have to get you doing something else new. Michael, you.
Yeah, Michael Milano. I'm on my second year on the board. I'm an agent with Compass, and happy to be here today.
Yay, thanks, Michael. Charlotte.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Bozell. I'm a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker Select, and I'm a wife, a friend, a daughter, a realtor, just a really great person. So I think I'm in my third year as a board of director and have enjoyed being a part of this group.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I've got a few questions for you just because I want to pick your brain a little bit. You know, being on the board's a wonderful thing, but what brought you to the board? Chris, how did you end up serving and volunteering in the first place?
Yeah, well, once I learned a little bit about it, speaking candidly, my client got into a bit of a fight with the city of San Rafael. And it was something that I thought was kind of unjust. And I really wanted to get involved to see how I could help my client get through some red tape. And I employed the association in our lobbying areas from our CEO, and that's how I kind of got into a bit of a negotiation with the city and learned all the great things that our board offers our members. And it really opened my eyes to wanting to participate on the board.
It's a good feeling when you can make a difference, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Bob, what about you? How'd you end up here?
I got a phone call one day. If I remember correctly, I think it was Matt McPhee called me and said, you have any interest in getting involved in the board? And I'm pretty sure I said no, that I wasn't really interested. I got, small kids and busy guy, but I'll think about it. So he called me, I think a week or so later. And what do you think? I was like, yeah, you know what? I've been thinking about it. I'd like to learn a little bit more. He said, okay, great. Well, we're having, the following week, I think it was, we're having, meetings where you can get to know a little bit more about it. And I thought I was going in for this informational kind of interview where I got to decide if I was interested or not. And I showed up, and I think president was there, a bunch of board met, like it was a whole room, and I was like, oh my goodness, what have I done here? Then they, asked me a couple questions, and the more that I got talking, I was like, I actually am pretty interested in getting involved and helping and learning more. So that's how it went for me.
So basically, guys, if you didn't realize, he walked into an interview.
Yeah.
It was an interview. I thought I was going to be asking the questions, and no, I was being evaluated. But,
it's how we get all of you, so watch out. If you get invited to have a conversation, you're probably in. Okay, so Michael, how about you? How did you end up here?
Bob's story sounds very familiar to my experience, except that it was Gene Lako that called me. And so I was open-minded, wanted to get more information on what that meant. So I walked into that same room that was full of tables with agents at it. But much like Bob, the more I got to hear about it and learn more about what the time commitment would be and what went into it, it made tons of sense to me because there's just so much that we can improve in our industry, and if I can do like a little bit of that, I think that makes me feel good about it. So that's how I ended up joining, and they, I guess I passed the interview.
You passed. Lifeblood of our industry, people who want to help out. So I'm so glad that you showed up in the room. How about you, Charlotte? What happened?
I was the chair of Young Professional Network, and then I became the for a year, and then the next year I was co-chair, and that experience brought me to be asked to be on the board. And I like being of service. I like giving back. I like being in the know. I like and yeah, I like knowing things before everybody else, and then getting to share that information with everybody. And I also feel like it helps me serve my clients better. So I just like being involved in this way.
It's kind of like in Hamilton, to be in the room where it happened.
Yeah, I do feel that.
It's kind of cool. Okay, guys, because you're so smart and you're such movers and shakers in the real estate industry, I have two questions for you. I want one sentence answers to each one. What do you think, Chris, is the biggest threat to the real estate industry today in 2021?
Honestly, I think the biggest threat could be ourselves. I think if the second we start going off into factions and kind of fighting each other, metaphorically speaking, it just erodes our own industry away. And I think collaboration is where we need to be. So any way we can avoid what, coming after each other, I think is the best for us.
Okay. And what do you think, Bob? What's threatening us?
It's a great answer.
It is a great answer.
I think that the greatest threat that we face is getting caught in our old set of ways, or the way that we've always done things, and not focusing on evolving, growing, and improving. There's a lot of attacks of the real estate industry, people saying, but the truth is, like, we have a great opportunity and a need to evolve and grow and get better for the consumers. And if we don't do that, then there will be problems.
You guys are great. I love these answers. It actually gives you the power back, the way you're answering these questions. So I love that. How about you, Michael?
Those are great answers. I think that the automation that is trying to be forced on the industry is something that I'm not a fan of. I mean, to a point, it makes sense, but when the iBuyers are being introduced and trying to eliminate the agents, that's what I see as a potential threat. I think that, it's been proven time and time again, you really do need agents in there. But to Bob's point, you kind of have to adapt also. So, adapting with the times and being relevant in comparison to the iBuyer is kind of like the happy medium.
I do absolutely love, I say one sentence, but none of us stick to one sentence because we are realtors and we have things to say. So Charlotte, what's the big threat?
I took notes, and I pretty much said exactly what Bob said. I think if we can stay unified, we're stronger, and that's the threat. When we start to disseminate and just fight amongst each other, and we're no longer serving our clients, and that's not the point of real estate. The point is to help our clients buy and sell homes and property. And so when we start to fight and let our egos get in the way of like what our true goal is, then we're not really being of service.
Hey, so I hope everybody sees these people are great examples of how you can take things that are happening and find the good in it and move forward and help serve our clients, which is really, like you said, Charlotte, what our number one goal is here. Code of ethics and everything, right? So tell me, Chris, what's the best thing that's happened in the last 5 years? Real estate, not you.
I think getting kind of new blood, new perspective. Frankly, I mean, and part of that is younger realtors. It's not an age thing per se, but if you actually look at the statistics of realtors throughout the state of California, we're a little bit weighted in a certain direction. And for any industry, you need diversity on all levels. And so I think what I've observed in the last 5 years, we've had some younger people getting into the industry, fresh perspective. That's what's really helpful on the board, I know, because you need a diversity of opinions and a diversity of age groups. So that's what I think has been, a real positive in our industry.
Good. And how about you, Bob? What do you think that one great thing that's happened in the last 5 years?
I think the disruption to the industry is actually a good thing. And I hope I don't get too many hate emails about it, but I feel like the combination of all this money coming at real estate is ultimately going to be a good thing, because it's going to force, the industry to be better, because, for a long time, there was not a whole lot of evolution and growth. And I think the changes that are happening are ultimately going to be very good.
Okay, well, I don't know why you guys don't like having that big book to carry around to go look at properties, and faxes weren't even existing. You had to like physically go. Never mind, I'm showing my age. Michael, what's that one thing?
Was DocuSign around 5 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was, but that's a pretty good thing.
I mean, how much better has life gotten for us agents with DocuSign?
That's the truth.
I
like that. So that innovation on that level.
Yeah, and there's other things like Disclosures.io has been a great implementation to the process and streamlining it. I think, to piggyback on what Bob said, as money kind of goes into what we're doing, it's making things a little bit easier and more streamlined for us, as long as we're adopting it.
There you go. Charlotte, how about you?
Again, I'm going to say the same things. I think that technology has made this job so much easier. I do, when I'm showing clients, they're amazed when I can open the lockbox with my phone. And I know that's not been in the last 5 years, but I, from working with other agents, have heard that you used to have to carry around a book. You used to have like this thing that you would fax to people. We don't have that anymore. So the e-key is pretty amazing. Disclosure.io I love, even though it's now called Homelight Listing Solutions. And in this last year of COVID, having Calendly and these other calendar appointment setting apps have been really useful.
Yeah, I agree with you all. The technology that's coming to the industry has been a huge plus for us. And as things change, like COVID, then there's another thing that will come along to help us deal with it. So being able to embrace that's great. Okay, now it's my time to ask you a surprise question. Be very nervous. Chris, if you had 1 hour of free time, what would you do with it?
I'd go fishing up in the middle of nowhere, up in the Sierras, with no cell phone reception, and just enjoy fishing.
I used to do a lot of fishing, June Lake, that area. Okay, so Bob, 1 hour of free time, what are you gonna do? Not real estate.
I have 4 little boys. I would absolutely take a nap.
I was hoping you'd say something like that. I know how hard you work with them. Michael, 1 hour of free time, what are you gonna do?
I would leave my phone at my house and go to West Marin. It's just, I always feel relaxed after I've come back from there.
Pretty peaceful, beautiful place, that's for sure. Pretty blessed with that. Charlotte, I'm gonna say 1 hour free time, what you gonna do?
Exercise.
Man, that's not me, but cool.
It's
why you look
the biggest mood changer.
Oh, it is true. It really lifts your mood. My walks used to do that for me. Got to get back to it. You guys, I want to thank you all for joining me today. And I know that everybody's getting a lot out of this. One thing I want to encourage everybody to do is don't hesitate. If you're interested in serving on this board, reach out to me or another board member, because we'd love to have you. It's a great feeling to make a difference. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Yeah.